Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Welcome all of you to our YouTube channel English Story, 26 Friends. Today we have brought a very beautiful English story for all of you whose title is Why the Sky Far Away. Chapter 1. Why the Sky is Far Away. Raman looked at the food in his lunchbox and made a face. Idli and chutney and chutney and idli again, he said to his friend Beam. Beam gave his own lunch a critical look and frowned. You think that's bad? He said. I've got bread and jam again. It's the third time this week. They pushed the food aside. We can get something at the burger place after school, Raman said. They concentrated on studying for their English test instead of eating. English was next period, and Mr. Frank had a reputation for giving difficult tests. When the bell rang, they dropped their uneaten lunches into the garbage. Mr. Frank was standing nearby. Not hungry, guys? He asked. They shook their heads and hurried off to class. When the test was over, there were still 10 minutes left in the period. Mr. Frank stood at the front of the class. Before you leave today, he said, leaning against the desk, I'd like to share an old African's folk tale with you. I think you'll find this one interesting. It's called Why the Sky is Far Away. Long ago, the sky was close to the earth. Men and women did not have to plant their own food. Instead, when they were hungry, they just reached up and broke off a piece of the sky to eat. Sometimes the sky tasted like ripe bananas. Other times it tasted like roasted potatoes. The sky was always delicious. People spent their time making beautiful cloth. They painted beautiful pictures and sang songs at night. The Grand King, Oba, had a wonderful palace. His servants made beautiful shapes out of pieces of sky. Many people in the kingdom did not use the gift of the sky wisely. When they took more than they could eat, the sky became angry. Some people threw the extra pieces into the garbage. Early one morning, the angry sky turned dark. Black clouds hung over the land, and a great sky voice said to all the people, You are wasting my gift of food. Do not take more than you can eat. I don't want to see pieces of me in the garbage anymore, or I will take my gift away. The king and the people trembled with fear. King Oba said, Let's be careful about how much food we take. For a long time, all the people were careful, but one man named Adami wasn't careful. At festival time, he took so many delicious pieces of sky that he couldn't eat them all. He knew he must not throw them away. He tried to give the pieces to his wife. Here, wife, Adami said, you eat the rest. I can't, Adami's wife said. I'm too full. Adami asked all his children to help him eat the delicious pieces of sky, but the children couldn't eat one more bite. So Adami decided to try to hide the pieces at the bottom of the garbage pile. Suddenly, the sky became angry, and the clouds turned black. You have wasted my gift of food again, yelled the sky. This time I will go away so you cannot waste me anymore. All of the people cried, What will we eat? We might starve. The sky said, You will have to learn how to plant crops in the ground and hunt in the forests. If you work hard, you may learn not to waste the gifts of nature. Everyone watched as the sky sailed away. From that time on, they worked hard to grow their food and cook their meals. They always tried to remember not to waste the gifts of nature. The bell rang for the next period. That's the end, Mr. Frank said, smiling. He looked at Raman and Beam. What did you think of the story? He asked. They slouched in their chairs and looked apologetic. We get the message, they said, smiling. No more lunches in the garbage. Chapter 2. When Papa scolded me. Baby, come for breakfast. Your milk is getting cold, called Paya, my elder brother. I quickly put on my slippers, picked up my favorite doll, Beta, and rushed out into the veranda. It was a beautiful day. The morning air was most refreshing. "Ah, how lovely," I said aloud, taking a deep breath. I ran across the veranda with Beta tucked under my arm. While I gulped down the milk, I heard Papa calling out to the driver. "Papa is still here, Bhaiya. He hasn't gone to the clinic today," I said, overwhelmed with joy. Being engrossed in a magazine, Bhaiya did not reply, but I could see Papa talking to someone in his room, which was opposite the dining hall facing the veranda. "Papa, Papa, I don't have to go to school. It's a holiday. Do you have a holiday too?" "Look, Beta has got fever," I said, all in one breath. "No, my dear child, I don't have a holiday today. You go and play while I talk to Mr. Singh. He is very ill. I'll ask the compounder to give your doll some medicine," Papa said lovingly. It was quite unusual to find my father at home at that time. Normally, he was in his clinic before I woke up, so I was very happy. My father wiped his spectacles with the kerchief as he listened to his patient carefully. I was on the balcony when I heard, "Baby, baby, come here, see this." It was my brother from the veranda. He had spread himself on an easy chair, and our dog, Tom, was dancing round on his hind legs. I burst out laughing. "Papa will give medicine to Beta," I said, showing off. "And I'll ask Papa to give some medicine to his darling daughter because she laughs and laughs," said Bhaiya, tickling me and sending me into fits of laughter. Being the youngest child in the family, I received everyone's attention and affection. Papa, of course, was the most affectionate. I ran from one end of the veranda to the other, and then onto the balcony, staying close to Papa's room to attract his attention while I played. I swung on the curtain, thumped on the door, tapped on the table, pulled and pushed the chair. "Look, Bhaiya, what a variety of sounds they make," I said, pulling the chair, then leaping up and rapping on the door, clapping my hands, jumping all the while. "Don't," pleaded Bhaiya, not taking his eyes off. The book in his hand. Racing back to the window of Papa's room, I saw him still busy with the patient. I loved to see him there before me while I played. He must like it too, I thought, to see me play around in his room. I dragged a chair and climbed onto the table. This at last drew Papa's attention. "Baby, be careful. Oh, you'll fall down," he said tenderly. "Look, Papa, I am taller than everyone." I grinned from ear to ear, making my eyes disappear. All one could see was a set of white teeth and chubby cheeks. Both Mr. Singh and Papa smiled. Papa did not look convinced. So I said again, raising my hands above my head, "Papa, I'm a big girl now." He nodded with a smile and continued talking to the patient. I touched all that I could reach with my hands till I got to the black switch. "No, you should not touch it." I was imagining what my mother would have said. "If you touch it, you'll get hurt," Bhaiya had told me once. This was a forbidden article for me, but how attractive it looked, black against the light blue wall. Unable to resist the temptation to touch it, I pressed the switch and the light came on. I immediately switched it off. I was scared. I looked at Papa with large, anxious eyes, but he was busy writing. He did not see me. I looked at Papa again, and then at the switch, which begged my hands to touch it again. "I'll do it just once more, okay?" I said softly to myself. I repeated the mischief once more, and was unable to stop myself from doing it again and again. I seemed to have disturbed Papa, who concentrating on the patient's problem. Without looking up from the book, he said in a serious voice, "Don't do that. You might get a shock." The click-clack of the switch and the glowing bulb fascinated me. "Baby, come here. Let Papa do his work," called my brother. I ignored everybody. This was the most fascinating game for me at the moment. How fantastic. I press. The light is on. I push. The light goes off. I muttered. The patient obviously had some serious problem. My father sat with 4 books open in front of him. My running around had certainly disturbed him. Completely exasperated, he put down his pen and spectacles and shouted at me, "You're not listening to me! Get down from there!" His loud voice broke my trance. I gaped at him, wide-eyed. He fixed his gaze on me, expecting to be obeyed instantly. I was shocked at being scolded so loudly by him, scolded by Papa. Papa, a very soft-spoken person, who was known never to raise his voice, had shouted in anger at his darling daughter. I was very angry with him. I jumped down from the table with a loud thud and raced up and down the balcony. My breath quickened, my face went red with anger, and my eyes felt hot with unshed tears. Throwing my hands about, I raced up and down, wanting to destroy everything that came in my way. Hearing the commotion, Bahia came out. "What is it?" he asked. My fury found a ready victim, and I ran towards him and pushed him. I felt like bursting into tears. I rushed and pulled at the curtain in Papa's room, which came down with the force. I saw Papa talking to the patient with his usual patience. How unthoughtful of him. He is not a bit bothered about my being so angry with him. I was fuming all the more. I went back into the room, stamping my feet noisily in anger. Standing close to Papa, I raged vehemently. "Why couldn't you say it softly? Why did you speak so loudly to me?" The next moment I came out on the balcony and stood beside the money plant pot. My eyes were now full of tears. I plucked a leaf and shredded it to pieces. The sound of a chair being pushed in Papa's room reached my ears, and then I heard his footsteps coming closer to me. I tried to run away in annoyance, but Papa caught me. He pulled my face towards his and picked me up. Tears came rolling down my plump cheeks. He patted my head lovingly and wiped my tears. "Oh, you big cat," said Papa, ruffling my hair. This affectionate gesture melted my wrath. A moment later, I was once again happy playing round the house. If you like our videos, then please subscribe to our channel, like and share.